Well, you're going to hear a little sound in the background. It's a waterfalls. I'm broadcasting from a lobby at a hotel in Orlando, Florida this morning. And good morning. It's spring break week. I'm doing my own spring break tour. And coming up, we'll talk about the CVA issue and maybe air it out. Maybe there's some parents that want to pipe in on this thing. 736-0186 is the phone number. We'll get into it coming up in just a few. Right now, big primary day. We had ours in New York, and it's gone quiet in terms of the commercials. And, of course, now you're hearing all the congressional commercials all over the place. Professor Allan Saxe on the line right now from the University of Texas. Professor, big day tomorrow.
It really is. In the immortal words of Willie of Duck Dynasty, who said over the weekend, I don't understand this presidential election process. And Willie was exactly right from Duck Dynasty. But tomorrow, more seriously, there are 5 states in play tomorrow. Connecticut, Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, all have primaries. Looks like Donald Trump is going to do very well in all of them.
Yeah, and now we're hearing that Kasich and Cruz are working together, right?
Absolutely. It can't get stranger. It gets stranger and stranger. It looks like they've made an agreement. Governor John Kasich and Senator Ted Cruz have made an agreement, and what the agreement is, if I understand it, is that Senator Ted Cruz is going to try to help Kasich in Oregon and New Mexico, and Governor Kasich is going to try to help Ted Cruz in Indiana. If anybody can follow that, they're much better than I am, but they want to stop Donald Trump at all costs, and they're trying to team up to do it. Mitch McConnell, a lot of the establishment Republicans are going to try to stop Donald Trump as well. However, all this may accrue to Donald Trump's benefit, because a lot of people out there who already like him or may be on the fence don't like this meddling by the Republican establishment, especially in trying to stop Donald Trump. And so it may, in fact, in the end, work to his favor.
Yeah. There was a story that came out yesterday that Charles Koch suggested that they might support Hillary Clinton after all.
I heard that interview. I think a lot of people have been trying to make too much of it. What the Kochs like, they don't like this extremism in their perspective from Donald Trump, and Ted Cruz, strange enough, maybe a little bit too conservative. So the Koch brothers have been interpreted or described as being more libertarian. So it surprised me when the question was asked, well, would you support Hillary Clinton? That leaves Hillary Clinton. And he sort of smiled and in a very mild-mannered way said he didn't say yes or no. He just didn't clamp down on it. I think the media has made too much of that because if the Koch brothers, being libertarian, do not like Hillary Clinton, well, Hillary Clinton's proposals are not much different than Bernie Sanders, and it would require a lot of expenditures in money. And that's one thing that the Koch brothers, I understand, do not like, is the big spending of Governor Bush or of President Obama.
Yeah. Hey, do you think that, there's nobody leaving after this, right? After Tuesday, we're going to, if all goes as planned, correct me if I'm wrong, Trump will look more like will be getting closer to the needed number, and Hillary will be will be closer as well. I mean,
absolutely.
Do you see any big changes?
It looks like exactly that's going to happen tomorrow. And then on May the 3rd is a very critical primary in the state of Indiana. And that's one thing that Ted Cruz was ahead in Indiana by some of the polls, but now Donald Trump is leading there as well. And that's where apparently John Kasich is going to try to help Ted Cruz in Indiana by maybe even pulling out. It gets weirder and weirder, but there's no doubt about it. A lot of people want to stop Donald Trump. Their argument is his negatives are too high, and the Clinton campaign machine is in place in all over the country. They could raise $1 billion, maybe up to $2 billion to stop Donald Trump. And they're arguing that Donald Trump cannot defeat Hillary Clinton given that scenario. The only people that could do it, in their estimation, is Ted Cruz and John Kasich, who continuously waves a paper around saying, the polls show I'm the only one that can really defeat Hillary Clinton. That's questionable, but I think that's in their mind. It could be emerging something like a Cruz Kasich ticket as well.
Allan, is there any chance at all that Kasich drops out?
I don't believe so. He believes that it's going to be a contentious stop Donald Trump before he gets to the convention with that magical 1,237 delegates. They want to stop him before he reaches there. Then if he doesn't get it on the first ballot, it's going to be open, and they'll turn to him. So John Kasich repeatedly says, I'm the only person who can defeat Hillary Clinton. And the polls seem to back him up, in fact.
Wow, interesting.
Well, you know what's interesting? I would really wonder if they... I know they have the plan on how to prevent Trump from getting to his 1237. The question is, what do they have a plan to keep the party together if Trump isn't the nominee and he's close?
You're right. That's
after
a great
the convention.
question, because if he's close and doesn't get it, a lot of the fervent Trump supporters may sit out the election, and they don't want that to happen either. That happened already in the past two presidential elections, and President Obama is now in the White House. They don't want those Republicans to stay home, and a lot of the Trump supporters may do that, may do just that if they believe that he's been really put upon, in Donald Trump's words, in a corrupt and rigged way.
All right, Professor, we appreciate it. Professor Allan Saxe at the University of Texas. Thanks for coming on. All right.
Wow.
Coming up, I want to talk about this CVA thing. Two teachers fired. We'll talk about that when we come in. Parents involved. It seems like teachers involved, and in some cases students. And then this woman that is someone who helps students, kids who are LGBT, has received a death threat in Utica. And we'll talk about that one coming up as well. Christine with an update